connection here. Today I'm talking with Toni Parker, owner of Casey Looks Salon and Spa. Toni has been in the business forever. Toni was actually my grandma and my aunt's hairstylist, and so I heard about Toni for years when I was a child, and really she's part inspiration of why I went into hair. They just had such a good relationship with her, and it was always Toni this and Toni that, and so I was super honored when Toni decided to give me an interview. So Toni, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Give me a little bit of a background on how you started and kind of what you've done throughout the years.
Okay, when I was 9 or 10, I decided I wanted to be a hairdresser. Followed it throughout the whole thing. Went to work at Jones Store downtown. I loved it downtown, but I had a girlfriend that worked at Redbridge, and she kept bugging me to come out there. They needed help. So I went ahead and went to work at Redbridge. That was May of 71. And then I turned right around and bought it when I was 26, and I've been there ever since. Never ventured off. I always wanted to be a hairdresser.
Well, what inspired you to be a hairdresser?
Well, when I was 9 or 10, I went to the beauty salon with my mom every week, and I would see these girls standing around having a good time, and they were always laughing. They were always pretty. So I thought, well, I'll just be a hairdresser. It looks like fun. They're pretty. And when I was about 15 or 16, they were doing my hair for the proms, 17 and 18. And it turned out many, many years later, the gal that was doing my hair came to work for me at one of my salons. And I had to laugh and tell her, you know, you're the reason I became a hairdresser. Because I thought it was fun. And they were having a good time, and they were all just so pretty.
And so, how many businesses have you owned in your career?
I've had 6.
6. Salons or spas?
Salons.
Wow, wow. And how many do you have now?
I have 3.
3, okay.
I had the one that was in the flood. I'd owned it 20 years at 103rd and Warren Lace Salon. And that was the only time it ever really got us. It got the shopping center, but it never came up to the end to get us. And so July of 17, that one went under, so they decided they weren't going to rebuild. So I had to put all those operators in my other salons. And then I pounded the pavement until I found this place.
Okay. And this is the biggest salon in Kansas City, is that correct?
I was told in the state of Missouri.
In the state of Missouri?
Individually owned.
Okay, yeah, no, and it's so big, I'm overwhelmed just looking at it and walking through.
Yeah, we've got 6,000 square feet here.
6,000 square feet.
So consequently, I shut down International Coiffures at 99th and Holmes and brought those people here also.
Okay.
And then I had one Lee Summit for 5 years.
Okay. And how many stations do you approximate that you have here?
I was supposed to have maybe 15. I think I have 25.
Wow.
Because people are going in the corners and
25 chairs. That is incredible. That is incredible. And you only have 4 openings.
Yes.
And so what do you attribute to the secret of your success? Like, why are people here and thriving and happy?
I've had a lot of my people from day one when I've opened the salons. I don't hassle them. They come in, do the work. They're their own boss. I tell them as long as they treat people well, take good care of the customers, because when they hit the door, they're their customers, but they're also mine. And I just don't hassle my people. And I think I'm pretty good to work for. If they need something, I'm just a phone call away, I'm here. And my husband's good to help too. So I've just been good to the people, I think. Because out of all of my salons, I only lose them due to retirement, moving out of town. It's never because they've gotten mad at me, I don't think. So.
But you have to be pretty tough to be a salon owner.
Yes, I like to be their friend, but you still have to be the owner.
Exactly.
And so I just want everybody treated equally. I think everybody gets along great, act like family. And I just think being good to them. I treat people the way I want to be treated. And I think that's a big key.
And you're also behind the chair a couple days a week?
Yes, I still do hair at Salon Aspen.
Okay.
It used to be Tony's Redbridge Salon, and when they redid the whole shopping center and they were changing the signs, I thought this might be a good time to change the name, spice it up a little bit. And I have a granddaughter that had encephalitis, and she was in the hospital. And she's my oldest, so her name's Aspen. That's why I changed it to Salon Aspen.
And that's where you came into my focus when Tony's Redbridge Salon. That's where my grandma and my aunt went, and man, they came every week.
They did.
No fail.
We still have them like that.
Isn't that amazing? So you still have a good amount of roller set clients?
Yes, we do.
That is awesome.
And not many in Kansas City do, but we do.
Agreed. What is the craziest thing that has happened to you in your time of salon ownership?
I would think having 2 cars go through 2 windows of 2 different salons 4 months apart, and then the flood. And so I would say that's the worst.
Yeah.
But by having other salons, I was able to keep them working. We just put them in other places.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take my desk out of Redbridge and put it in one of the storage places and to put stations there. But we made it.
Awesome. And I had the same thing happen. I actually had a car come through. My salon was sort of set down at 91st and Metcalf, and a car came straight through the back.
Well, mine were drunk drivers, both of them.
Oh, wow. Same salon?
No, both of them are different salons.
Wow.
Lay's salon, a car was coming down 103rd, too fast, came right through my window, came in sideways, went through the Chinese restaurant. And the second one, it was a drunk driver, and the girl got in the car, and her boyfriend jumped on the hood, and I guess she was just going to take him through my salon. They came right through the glass.
Oh, wow.
And that was a drunk driver during the night also, 4 months apart.
So no one was in the salon?
No, it was like 3 in the morning on both of them.
Okay. And when that happened to me, there were people in the salon. It was in the middle of the day. It was a man who lost control of his car, and it hit the area where we did waxing, and thank goodness no one was there. But I remember sitting there seeing the car coming, and that's just to see that happen to your business and shut you down. It's just unbelievable.
Lay Salon had an upstairs, so when it did structural damage, we were down 8 weeks. So I took that 8 weeks and just completely remodeled and opened everything up and changed everything and bought all new stuff. So everybody was glad to go back to work there. It was worth the wait. So, and then that's the one that flooded.
Oh my gosh. So what do you think it takes to be successful as a hairstylist in this industry?
Well, number one, you don't take no for an answer. Number 2, you have to be positive. I'm not negative. And the people I find that are positive are the ones that are successful. I never saw that COVID is going to hurt us. I think everything's going to come back. It's going to come back stronger. And so many women messed up their own hair at home. We were getting a lot of corrections. But I just think being positive and working hard. Because when I first started, I worked 6 days a week, cleaned on Sunday. And then as you get going, and get more people, I would put the people on the operators. I never hogged the customers. So I tried to space them out with everybody. And I just think just a lot of hard work. I put in a lot of hours. But I was raised like that with 2 real strong, independent parents. That my mom ran the whole dental school, and my dad owned service stations all over Kansas City area. And I did his bookwork from the time I was little. So we were raised, you work.
And I think that's a big difference in what goes on today, and there's a lot of expectations of having some instant success, and just doesn't work like that. Are you involved with social media at all?
No.
Nope. And yet you have an almost at capacity salon, and the biggest salon in the state of Missouri.
Yes.
Do you advertise?
I advertised forever at Redbridge. We had a theater on the corner, and I put us on the screen where you're sitting there waiting on the movies to start. It runs. I advertised in the Kansas City Star. We used to have a section for Redbridge. I advertised in the Wednesday magazine. And I've almost found out word of mouth is the best. And if you come into my salon, I've only let one girl go ever. And she tried to comb women out with their hair being wet. Didn't leave them under the dryer long enough, and I always thought, I'd rather not have her, because people leave, and if they say don't go to Toni's, they weren't very good. One person sets that for everybody. And I just think word of mouth now is the best.
And I totally agree. And reputation's everything.
Yes.
And that, to me, is why you are so successful. Everybody knows Toni. Everybody knows they can trust you and that you have a very solid foundation.
Right. I'm not going anywhere.
That's right.
through salons being shut down, through floods, took a year to get this place open. I'm not going anywhere. It's job security for them.
Exactly. And so, as a booth rental salon owner, you have nails, do you have estheticians here
Yes.
as well? Okay. And so you employ just about every aspect of our
everything.
industry. Yes. A lot of people want support from booth rental salon owners. What type of support do you provide for your renters?
Well, I would advertise for them. When people call one salon and we don't have anyone to do them, I call down here. I refer all of my salons, because between the 3 salons I have, I also own Studio 213 Day Spa, the Brookside Waldo area. And so between all of those, there is nothing you could ask for we don't do. I have the permanent makeup. I have the girls that just do everything. Permanent lashes and facials. I can't go on and on. But anything you want in a salon, one of my operators can do. And so I just try to keep them all busy. But I think just knowing you have a great group, I don't have anybody that I wouldn't send my mother to. I think I have the best group of people. I have some people that are pretty well known, that have been around forever. And the new ones up and coming, they're good. So I just think trying to get out there with their name. In fact, I'm getting ready to do a menu at this salon. I'd like to do it at all of them. But there's so many people here and so much that they can do, I don't even know. And so I'm getting a list of everything they do, and I'm going to have like a menu made up, and it'll be at the desk and with their phone numbers, and you can go down anything you want, it'd be on that list. And so I'm just in the process of getting that done.
That's wonderful. And that's really what renters need, is knowing that you're supporting them and believe in them and want to see them grow.
Exactly.
What do you think about new graduates who want to get into booth rental right out of school?
Well, I never used to want new people out of school, but now I would love to have them. I would love to have them. They're usually the ones that are good. They're eager to work, eager to learn, and a lot of them are great with color. So I'm going to be hitting the beauty schools for new operators.
Awesome. And what can you offer a new graduate?
Well, once again, job security. I have people that could train them and help them, because I didn't learn anything until I got out of beauty school. You probably know that. They put you in there and make money on you. And then you're going to mess up a lot of people before you learn. But I could have them work next to any of my hairdressers. And I think a lot of them out of beauty school are great.
Agreed. Yeah. And even more so now, because there's a lot more opportunities and resources for these schools to utilize.
Right.
There is. It's quite different than when I was in school.
Me too.
Yeah.
we just set the hair, vacuumed it. They were gone. And I don't recall doing a lot of color.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my daughter went to beauty school and she was weaving in 3 or 4 different colors. I never did that.
Well, and then when I went to school, weaving was brand new. Like everybody was just trying it. And so Yeah, we were taught to pull through the cap, and then towards the end of our schooling, they're like, "Oh, wait, hey, there's this thing called highlighting that you all should try."
Yeah, my biggie was the curling iron.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to use the curling iron.
Exactly. Well, absolutely. So you've seen the progression from, everybody's getting roller sets, and there wasn't that option to blow dry.
Right.
And now there is. And so I'm looking at our roller set clients and wondering, how long is that going to last? How long, there's not a lot of new people getting that. It's just such a.
Well, I think everybody should know it, because I think things come back. However, I don't have a lot of hairdressers that own rollers. And so they can do probably the same thing with their curling irons, but some of these ladies think they've got to sit under the dryer. So consequently, but I've seen things come back. I never learned a razor cut. And a gentleman I worked with taught me how to use the razor. Well, then they come back. And the shag has come back. Now the mullet has come back. So I just think it's nice to know everything.
And what do you think the future for our industry looks like?
I think it looks great, because I think the economy's bad. People are dying to get their hair done. They'll skimp on groceries, I believe, but they want their hair or their nails. And the young girls anymore, my granddaughters are in their 20s. They get their nails done all the time. Different colors of hair. And I think the younger girls are a little more gutsy about changing hair color. You see blue. We didn't grow up like that. I think it's out there. I tell my kids, I've got a granddaughter that's going to be an attorney. I've got another granddaughter that raps. My grandkids, I would say, are all pretty successful, but I always say, why didn't you follow in grandma's footsteps? You don't have a clue what you could make. Mm-hmm. And I think the money's there to be made. I just know I've made a good living, and it just seems like, years and years of college, I wouldn't have made the money I did. Mm-hmm. And so I just think the money's there. Agreed.
And so if you could have one thing that would be different that's happened in your career, what would that be?
A little more education. I would like to teach. I would like to go around and help set up salons. I know when I've taken furniture home to sell, when I've remodeled, the people that have come to buy it, well, as they're picking my brain, want to know what made me successful. One gentleman said, my salon's 2 hours away. I wish you'd come help me. I said, give me an address, and if I can work it out, I will. I try to explain to him how you have to be good to people. You don't put your eggs all in one basket. You build up a person, they're liable to leave and go to another salon. And I've told them it's very important to get contracts when they work for you, if they're rental. And I would just love to go around and tell them. I've had hairdressers come to work for me that said, we have a meeting once a month, and the boss is always telling us this, and wants to raise our rent. I just don't think you have to have a meeting once a month. I think if there's a problem, address it at the time. I've told my hairdressers, if you have a problem, call me. And I just don't want those gripe sessions. And the person that does all the talking is usually, nobody backs them up if they've said something. So I just kind of feel like, be good to them. And, I always remodel. Try to keep the place nice, updated. And I'm very proud of my salon, so.
It's beautiful in here.
And my other two, I think, are too. And Lay Salon was beautiful, and International was beautiful. So I like first impression. When someone hits the door, that's the first impression. You don't get that over again. So you have to have a good first impression. And I've had people come in and go, whoa. And when I had my open house, even some of my family could not believe this place, just gorgeous. and my out-of-town relatives, and they'll say, oh my gosh. But it took many, many, many years. Of course, this place was a nightmare to get it open. I walked in and saw this bridal shop, and everything was kind of, well, this will be easy. Well, I had no clue that 6,000 square feet on my floor was going to be that much money. I had no clue that the plumbing, I thought they could run the pipes just down the wall to the shampoo balls. I didn't know they were going to have to take out 2 bathrooms, dig down into the ground, and all this concrete. And I did not know you couldn't just put plugins in for every hairdresser without doing major electrical work. And it's like, if my son-in-law had not been the one doing the work, he even called me one day and he said, Toni, are you sure you want to continue with this? He said, this place is, it's just, one thing after another. And I said, yep, I always finish what I start. So thank God for, he owns Rock Creek Construction. So that was a blessing there. And then my floors, I get a lot of compliments, whatever he was telling me maybe I should do. And when I came in, he had 2 different colors on the floor, and one was half the price. And I took a look at him. I said, nope, I want the expensive one. So this floor is just, we get a lot of compliments on our floor. And so it's just a lot of hard work, but it pays off because my kids always say, it's not like you have to work, because it is fun. Mm-hmm. I have one employee that we go dancing all the time, and my best friend works with me, and another gal that's been with me since I bought Redbridge. She's just like my sister now. So I just think, I feel sorry for the people that have to go to work that hate it. I can't imagine. So that's why, I could be up here at 9 or 10 o'clock at night decorating. And my husband calls, say, are you coming home? I don't even know it's that late. So, and, we used to work till 10 o'clock at night doing hair. I don't do that anymore. But there were many long days. But, you see that people call up and ask if they could get their hair done at 8 o'clock at night, and we'd say, sure. And I was raising kids at the time, so I would work all the hours I could. Mm-hmm. And now it's just more like fun.
Yep.
And I only do hair 2 days a week, but I will go in any day if anybody needs it. And even though I say I only work 2 days a week, I'm constantly doing bookwork, cleaning, decorating, ordering supplies. So.
What's it going to take for you to retire?
Never. My husband says that word's not in my vocabulary. He retired from General Motors, and he's helping me every day. So I tell the kids, you want to work hard, but you want to play hard. So we run a lot. I don't think I sleep.
I know.
I can be on a ladder. I was decorating Redbridge last week, and I was on a top of a 16-foot ladder doing an upside down tree. And my grandson called. He said, you want to go down the border tonight? I go, I'm there. It's close to my house, so I met the kids there.
And so you're a very family-oriented person.
Yes.
And how many children do you have?
I have 2 kids,
okay.
2 daughters, 9 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandson.
Wow.
And so I've not missed a soccer game, baseball, karate tournament, dance competitions. I've made them all. And so I have a 12-year-old now I raise, and so every weekend it's baseball, competitive soccer, and competitive basketball. And I don't miss a game. So.
Which is, our career allows us that freedom.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes, because when my girls were little, they played softball. It was hard for me to ever take off a Saturday. And then I would take off 1 Saturday a year for their dance competitions. And then as my grandkids got a little older, I started taking Saturdays off. And I've traveled out of town with soccer tournaments, taking the kids if their mothers couldn't. But if they could, I went with them. And so I took one granddaughter to Chicago and Nashville for dance competitions. I traveled around with Aspen for everything. So, every one of my kids that played sports, I was there. And so I think it's pretty great when you do have grandchildren that want to hang out with grandma and grandpa. So
Everybody's dream. So what does Toni Parker do for fun?
probably, I would say, Nashville. I love to go to Nashville. And so my husband and I go, or gal at work, Marcia, my best friend, we always go a couple times a year, 3 times a year. And we've gotten to where we know everybody there. And the best blues band in the world is in Nashville. There's a little area called Printer's Alley, and it's Bourbon Street Blues. And I've gotten to know the main guy, Stacy Mitchart. In fact, when we had COVID, he came to my house from Nashville and did a private deck party and stayed at my house for 3 days, and we had a blast. So even though we were down for COVID, and he said I was watching him on Facebook, he said, anybody wants to do a deck party, where we could social distance, he said, I'd be glad to come. And he meant Nashville, and I just typed in there, well, how about Kansas City? And he said, I think we could do that. So we worked it out and came. And he did my deck one night, my brother's deck one night, and then a bar in Independence that they could really spread out. And we weren't allowed to have as many people, but it was a lot of fun. So that's what I love to travel. Also, I love the beaches. We try to take the kids out of town every summer. However, the last 2 summers I haven't because of COVID or putting this place together the first year. So in like 2 or 3 years, I haven't had my good trips. So hopefully this summer.
Agreed. Tell me about working here and what type of opportunities you have either here at Casey Looks or in your other establishments.
Well, I still have about 4 openings here, only because I put people in other places I didn't mean to. I have had several people retire at Redbridge, so I have openings for stylists there. And Studio 213, we've had several people that have retired due to COVID. And then I just had another one that's been there forever, ever since I owned it. And she just retired to move out of town to be with her family. So I could use nail techs, hairdressers. We do have a massage therapist there, and we do have an esthetician there. So, but the people that come to work there are still there. I really don't have a lot of new people. It seems like when they come, they stay. Mm-hmm. So, which really makes it nice because the people here have been with me, the majority of them, 20 years, at least.
And that speaks to you and what you offer and what you're doing.
But I just think being successful, you have to be positive. Nobody wants to come in here and hear your stories. They come in here, want to sit in the chair and relax and tell you their problems. And so just always being in a good mood, they want to come in. People come in Redbridge and say it's like family. And I know it is here too. Everybody knows everybody. And if someone moves out of town, comes back 20 years later, they're surprised we're still there. And I just kind of feel like I just thrive on being positive. I just don't want to hear people come in and say, oh, I've had a rotten day, this. As the hairdresser, nobody wants to hear that. And so I just think if you want to be successful, number one, they come to you because they like you, because you're outgoing, because you're fun, and not because you've got problems to tell them. Everybody has problems.
Everybody, and I like to tell some of the newer graduates that I work with, it's not about you. It's about the person sitting in your chair, and if they want to know about you, they'll ask.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. they'll say, how many children do you have?
Yep.
You answer. Now the majority of my people now know everything at all about my family. They're on Facebook posting everything about my kids, or how was that soccer tournament, but it took 50 years to get there. And you're exactly right. If they sit on your chair, they want to tell you their story. They don't want to hear that you had a rotten weekend or your car broke down. That's not what they're there for.
Yep. Keep it positive, keep it light, and make it about them.
I have seen, out of all of my operators, I could go through, and the ones that are positive are bringing in the most money.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that, you want to tell them a gloomy story, you can, in this business, you can make $100 a week, or you can make $2,000. It's all up to you. And if you want to work hard, my husband always got a kick out of coming in the salon and people would walk in and wanting their hair done, and you had nobody that could do it, because a lot of rental people want to come in, do their people, and leave. But if you had new people out of beauty school that would want to sit there all day, you'd be surprised the money they would make.
Thank you so much, Toni. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, and I hope that we can meet up again. I was just so excited to meet you today.
Well, I was excited to meet you because I followed you. And so
Right.
I really envy you're headed the direction that I thought I'd like to go. And I would eventually like to start a business to go around to salons, actually. I would love to give speeches, and not just on hair, other things. So you name it,
Wonderful.
I've been there, done that.
I know, and that's the most valuable thing in the world to me. It's one thing to say, hey, I've been here for 5 years and I can do extensions and I can do this, but you're the real deal.
Well, thank you.
Yep, you know exactly what it takes, you know exactly how to do it, and you've done it over and over and over.
And what I can't do, I've got someone that can.
That's right.
I don't even do my grandkids' hair anymore. They go to
Right.
all the operators in all my salons.
Yeah, agreed. There's just things,
Yes.
it's like, yeah, that's not my specialty. And that's
Right.
wisdom,
Right.
is knowing, okay, yeah, no, that's not for me. Instead of, doing what you know how to do, let them go ahead and go to someone younger and trained in that specialty.
Right.
Yep.
That's right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Toni.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us today, and please come back for more people like Toni throughout Kansas City talking to us about their careers, about what they do, how they do it, and thank you so much.